Welcome to 24 Holiday Tips for Savvy Homeowners, brought to you by HomeTipsforWomen.com. Join us each day as Tina and her guests bring you a holiday tip to fill your home with more joy and less stress. And now, here's your host, Tina Gleisner.
Welcome, everyone. This is Tina Gleisner at Home Tips for Women, and I'm thrilled to have you joining us today for our holiday tips. And I know this is a wonderful time of year. It's my favorite time of year. I like to listen to Christmas carols starting the day after Thanksgiving. But we can also overcommit and find ourselves too busy and too tired to enjoy ourselves. So that's why I decided to invite experts to come share holiday tips to help each of us find ways to save time, to save money, and to make sure that we take time to enjoy the holidays ourselves. And I've learned over the years that planning out your holidays can make a really big difference because you can decide ahead of time which are the most important things to get done. And I use 4 Ds to help me plan. The first is to delegate. There's no rule that says I have to do everything. I can ask my kids, I can ask my husband. The next is you can do things together. So I love one of my activities is to do holiday wreaths with a girlfriend, and that way we know we've got that visit together every year. It's also okay to drop things off your list because you don't have to do something just because you did it last year or your family has done it for the last 10 years. And if you successfully do the first 3 Ds, then you should have freed up enough time to make sure you can take a few activities just for you to delight yourself. And today we're going to shake it up. This is where I usually introduce a guest that I then interview. But a few people suggested that I've got some stories of my own, and so Robin Hardy is going to interview me. Take it away, Robin.
Well, great to be chatting with you, Tina, and we get to pick your brain on this episode, and I'm excited because we've got a great topic for you that I think is going to touch the hearts of many. But let's start off, just like you do with everyone else. What is your favorite holiday activity that you like to do?
My favorite holiday activity, and probably going on about 25 years, is making gingerbread houses. It started when my youngest son was 5, and he's 30. And what I love is that it was more than just a family activity. The first year, probably we did it as a family, but over the years it grew so that we would invite our neighbors to come join us to make the gingerbread houses, or it would be classmates of the boys. And it's just always been our major, besides decorating, activity. In Tokyo, we were there for 3.5 years. The challenge was I had to shop for the molasses early to make sure that I got the 1 or 2 jars that were there each week. When my son was in the Navy, we made a gingerbread Navy ship for him and took all the makings down so that on Christmas Day he had to work. He and his shipmates could decorate the ship, and that was a riot. And it's just been one of those things. And this year, for the first time ever, my 3-year-old granddaughter is going to make her first gingerbread house, and I'm really looking forward to that.
That's really cool. I love the ship one because I'm a Navy brat myself, so that's kind of cool. But that's really neat, too, with your granddaughter, Tina, because I'm not a grandparent, but I know everybody who's sharing about their grandchildren, to be able to bring this tradition to her as well is awesome. So wonderful. um, I'll be your granddaughter. You can adopt me. You're welcome here. I get an extra room, Okay. Well, I know we're talking about a totally amazing topic for you today, especially after an email you got back. And we're all about working in the community and helping each other out, and especially around the holidays. Tell us a little bit about you and how you and your family go about doing just giving back and helping those in your community.
Well, over the years, your family, first your kids are little, and like the dogs, your puppies, you're thrilled just to watch them open their gifts, and you kind of scratch your head because they spend more time playing with the empty box than the toy that came in it. But, when the kids were growing up, we always adopted a family, and the boys loved decorating the tree, and we would take the tree to the family decorated, and we would take them groceries, and we always try to get a family with kids about their age. But we probably, since the boys are grown and on their own now, our customs have really changed quite a bit. And about 5 years ago, we realized when we visited my older son that they had purchased, like Jason had gotten one gift for Emily and Emily had gotten one gift for Jason. And there were no gifts for us, and that was okay because we knew they didn't have enough money. And the reality was you reach a point in time where you really don't need any more stuff. And so the fact that our kids showed us that you don't have to go out and buy lots of presents was perfect because all of us decided that it was okay not to exchange gifts. Now, it'll be a little different with my granddaughter, but by and large, we across my family no longer shop for gifts. And I'll tell you, moving right now, it's such a pleasure that I don't have to worry about getting gifts or, juggling them among all the other activities as we move from New Hampshire to Arizona. In fact, I'm not much of a shopper, so I also enjoy that I don't have to go out. But we used to, for years, adopt a family with the boys, and we would chase down the list. We would get a family from Big Brother, Big Sister, and it was taking more and more time to go find exactly what the kids asked for. And we knew it was important, so if we signed up for the family, we needed to get a certain toy, and then we needed to get, say, earplugs that were a certain color. And it was fun. It kept us current with what the latest, greatest toys were, but we didn't always have enough time. So then we switched to, you can go to most malls, and they have giving trees, and you can stand there and look at the little stars. And what's good about it is we look for stars where we're pretty confident that we can find the gifts all in that one night so that we're not running around day after day after day trying to find that special gift. But that also takes time. And so about 5 years ago, when the economy in the late 2000s was really bad, we found ourselves helping out 2 or 3 or more families each year. If we heard that somebody, had missed 2 mortgage payments and they were really worried about losing their house, we would pitch in and help them out. Or it was a phone bill and the phone was going to be disconnected. And so we decided that once we didn't have to do that kind of gifting just to help friends out, that we would make our new holiday tradition to just keep our ears open for a friend that was in need, and we would basically give them money in early December so that they would have the holiday, and they wouldn't have to, especially families with kids, wouldn't have to worry about how in the world were they going to give their kids something, anything for the holidays. And I'll tell you, it's been pretty amazing. doing that. Last year, I had a friend, with a master's degree who had lost her job, and she had been working, basically minimum wage jobs for 2 years, and she wasn't really happy. I mean, her lifestyle was totally different than had been for 20 years, and it was so nice to just stop by and see her and be able to give her a check and say, this is just a gift, you can pay it forward. And that's something I really like is this whole concept of pay it forward. We're in a position where we can help other people. We don't need anything in return. And we just say to people, hey, if there's a time in the future where you can help somebody else out, please do. That's all the thanks we need. And so this year, it wasn't even someone I know. I was talking to a friend. Cindy was telling me about Anita, giving me an update. She was diagnosed with cancer. She had disability for 6 months, but then they laid her off. And worse than that, she can't go back to the job she had. So she's now in school to become a nurse so that she can have a salary to raise her kids. And her husband decided in the middle of all this to walk out and ask for a divorce. So here's this woman. I mean, how many things can go wrong? It's pretty crazy. And so when Cindy was giving me an update on how things were going with Anita, I just said, that's my Christmas person. And I'll tell you, I basically gave Cindy the money this morning, and her friend, Anita, sent her a text message today. And I just want to read it to you because it's just the kind of thing that I have a hard time relating to anymore. And Anita sent it and said, we're out of oil, and I'm writing a post-dated check for money that is not in the bank. And it's pretty scary, but Anita lives in Maine, and oil for heat is not an option. And so Cindy was thrilled because she was able to text back to Anita and say, your Christmas money is in my pocket, and I will bring it over. Don't worry, you've got the money to pay for oil. And it's just such a heartwarming story because Anita wrote back and said, wow, that's exactly the help I needed, and now it'll cover not only heat, but they'll have money, get this, for Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve, as well as new jammies, hot cocoa, and movies for her kids. That's the difference of wow, they're going to have a real Christmas instead of this poor mother with 2 young kids worrying about how is she going to keep the house warm enough for her family. And I just love it, and my husband also adopts someone. And, here, because of the relationship through Cindy, we got actually more information than we usually get. Sometimes we've just literally mailed a check. And, it's just nice to know that in addition to having our family for the holidays, that we've helped make somebody else have a great holiday as well.
And I think what I love about this, Tina, is we're seeing stories in the news that are relating to people getting back to, the whole true Christmas spirit. But what I love what you said as you were sharing, and I know this was hard for you to share forward because it's not about, my name's on, I gave this stuff, but your heart is to share what you guys have chosen as a tradition for your family, hoping that others might also really consider giving back as an option, not just looking for the packages. But what I love is the pay it forward, because the thing is that once you've touched a life like you've touched Anita's, she's going to take that generosity that you had and play it forward. And enough of us doing this can make a huge impact on the community.
Absolutely, and involve your kids, so it's not just Anita, it's also her kids seeing that there's somebody watching out for them.
Yeah, and I think another key that's really important here, Tina, is the fact that Anita didn't look at it, and this is where listeners need to hear this part. Anita didn't look at it as, I don't want your charity. She looked at it as a concerned person in the community had compassion on her at a time when she needed it the most.
Right.
So I think this is a valuable lesson for all of us to keep in mind, that underneath our Christmas tree, we don't need 40 boxes. My husband and I are the same way. We only do one a gift each, and then it's everything else for everybody else. I think, you and I are in the same place where if we want something, we go get it. So why not just give back to people, empower them to move forward, and to let them just relax for a little bit and enjoy the holidays with their family. So that's a priceless gift. I know it had a price on it, but when you play it forward and this whole thing lays out, you've probably impacted that family and all of the ones previously more than you even know, and you will probably ever know. So, I think that's awesome. And for listeners, something to really consider instead of going through the charging up your credit cards and getting everything everybody wants, to looking at who can you help out in your community, and they don't even need to know it's you. I love that part because it's that quiet, just do it and go on. Because, when the key is, guys, when we give, we get back, even though we aren't giving to get, if that all makes sense. So that is so awesome. I'm sitting here almost crying about Anita, but there's joy in my heart, too, because she received the gift, and I'm excited to hear other stories from you, and I know you don't want to brag about it, but we can talk privately. But awesome. That just brings joy to my heart, and something that we'll focus on this year as well. So as we wrap up our time and really reflect on, learning a little more about you, because your listeners hear you interviewing everyone, and this gives them a piece of you, which I think is really important in the relationship side. What is the most important thing to you and your family during the holidays?
I think now that the boys are grown and gone, the most special thing for me is just getting to spend time with my kids, to reconnect with them, to see how they've grown and changed over the year. And especially this year, it will be even more exciting because my granddaughter is old enough that she's got a real personality now that I can interact with. So I'm super excited to get down to Florida and just, spend that time with everybody and just be together. It doesn't really matter what we do, whether it's a board game or decorating those gingerbread houses. We're going to have a great time. And I'm thrilled to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's really awesome. I love, and like I said, I think when we started the show, the fact that you're teaching your granddaughter some of the traditions is priceless. So that's the way to keep it alive and keep feeding it through. And, one day you're going to be a great grandma. And, your granddaughter is going to have taught her children what you've taught her and play it back to you. And you get to go and just sit and enjoy them and the traditions that they'll play forward. So with that, you want to go ahead and close us out, Tina?
Okay. So once again, this is Tina Gleisner at Home Tips for Women. I have to say thank you for joining us for these holiday tips, my own holiday tips and sharing stories. I enjoyed it, and I love the holidays. And I hope you'll be back tomorrow to hear more tips from another guest, because our job is to share our tips so that we all can have a better holiday. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Robin, for joining me on this recording. And Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year, and whatever holiday you celebrate. Because actually my husband is Jewish, so we also do potato latkes for Hanukkah. Goodbye, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us today, and we invite you back tomorrow for another Savvy Holiday Tip. Be sure to grab your free gift at SavvyHolidayTips.com. That's SavvyHolidayTips.com.